I canceled my wedding 3 days before the ceremony, after finding out my fiance had been lying about paying off his gambling debts when he'd actually just taken out new loans in my name to cover them. And now his family is saying I'm abandoning him at his lowest point when he needs support instead of judgment. I'm 29 and my fiance Ryan is 31. We've been together for 4 years, engaged for 1. Ryan has struggled with gambling on and off since before we met. He was upfront about it early in our relationship and said he'd gotten it under control through therapy and Gamblers Anonymous. About 2 years ago, Ryan had a relapse. He'd accumulated about $35,000 in gambling debt from online poker and sports betting. I found out when creditors started calling our apartment. Ryan broke down and admitted everything. He begged for another chance and promised to get help. I told him I'd stay, but only if he went back to therapy and GA, and if he was completely transparent about his finances. He agreed. We set up a joint account where his paychecks would go, and I'd help manage the money to pay off the debt systematically. Over the past year, Ryan showed me statements proving the debt was going down. We'd paid off about $20,000. I was proud of him. He seemed committed to recovery. We started planning our wedding. Last week, I was looking for our insurance documents in Ryan's desk drawer when I found credit card statements I'd never seen before. They were in my name. 3 different cards, all maxed out, totaling about $45,000. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I called the credit card companies. The cards had been opened over the past 8 months using my social security number and information. All the charges were cash advances and transfers. When Ryan got home, I confronted him. He immediately started crying. He admitted he'd opened the cards in my name to pay off his original gambling debts. He said he was going to pay them off before I ever found out. I asked if he'd stopped gambling. He said mostly, but he'd had a few small relapses. I asked him to define small. He admitted he'd been betting regularly for the past 6 months, thinking he could win enough to pay off the new cards before I noticed. I told him he'd committed identity theft and fraud. Ryan said he knew it was wrong, but he panicked when the original creditors were threatening legal action. He said he was going to fix everything. I asked how he planned to pay off $45,000 when he couldn't pay off the original $35,000. He didn't have an answer. He just kept crying and saying he was sorry and he'd do anything to make this right. I told him to pack a bag and leave. He refused and said we needed to work through this together. I said there was no together after what he'd done. Ryan called his parents. They came over and his mother immediately started defending him. She said gambling is an addiction and I was treating him like a criminal when he's sick and needs help. I said he committed actual crimes by opening credit cards in my name. His father said they'd help pay off the debt if I'd just give Ryan another chance. I said it wasn't about the money. It was about the lying, the stealing, and the fact that he'd destroyed my credit and put me in massive debt without my knowledge. Ryan's mom said the wedding was in 3 days and I couldn't just cancel. I said I absolutely could and would. She said I'd regret this, that Ryan made mistakes but he loved me. I said love doesn't mean committing fraud against your partner. I called our vendors. Most wouldn't refund anything. We'd spent about $30,000 on the wedding. That money is gone. I sent a message to our guests canceling the wedding. Ryan has been staying with his parents. He's been texting constantly begging me to reconsider. His family is calling me heartless. His sister said addiction is a disease and I'm giving up on him when he needs me most. My parents support my decision but are worried about the financial mess. My best friend thinks I absolutely did the right thing. My aunt thinks I should have postponed the wedding instead of canceling it to give us time to work through it. The wedding was supposed to be yesterday. Instead, I spent the day meeting with a lawyer about the identity theft and figuring out how to dispute the charges. I might have to file a police report against Ryan to get the debt removed from my credit. Am I the asshole?